Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nutrition Diva podcast. I'm your host, Monica Reinagel, and today we're talking about the pros and cons of oat milk. And I've also got a new kitchen hack from hungry girl Lisa Lillian, so be sure to stay tuned for that at the end of the show. This episode is supported by Griffin Home. Griffin's comfortable sheets and duvets are made with premium quality Supima cotton, so you can enjoy the most comfortable sleep of your life. For a limited time, you can try these sheets for free for 30 days, no strings attached. If you don't like them, just send them back, and you won't be charged. Visit griffinhome.com and use the code DIVA at checkout. That's GRYPHON home.com and the code DIVA. Just when you thought there wasn't room for one more in the case, a new non-dairy alternative has taken the world by storm: oat milk. Let's take a closer look at the pros and cons of the newest contender. One thing that oat milk has going for it is a texture that's closer to that of whole milk. Unlike rice or almond milk, which tend to be kind of thin and watery, oat milk has a much creamier mouthfeel. This is a non-dairy alternative that you can actually use to lighten your coffee. And although taste is obviously subjective, the fuller flavor of oat milk has won a lot of converts. Oats may also have an edge in terms of sustainability, especially compared with almonds. And another plus is a small amount of fiber that you get in oat milk. Now we're only talking 1 or 2 grams per serving, but oat fiber has some unique benefits in terms of lowering blood cholesterol and blood sugar levels. With 2 to 4 grams of protein per serving, oat milk is lower in protein than either cow's milk or soy milk, but higher than most rice and almond milk. Oat milk may also be a great option for those with nut allergies, for whom nut milks are obviously off the menu. Now, oats are not a good source of calcium or vitamins A and D, and these are nutrients that are typically supplied by dairy. However, virtually all of the brands of oat milk that I reviewed were fortified with calcium. Many of them also included added vitamin D, and a few of them were fortified with a whole range of additional nutrients, including vitamins A and B12. Now, as long as you're getting those nutrients from somewhere in your diet, they don't necessarily need to be in your milk. But if you're counting on your non-dairy milk to be filling some of those gaps, then you'll want to check those labels. While I was researching this week's episode, I actually put together a chart of several of the leading brands of oat milk, comparing their nutritional profile, their cost, and their ingredients, and I posted it on my blog at nutritionovereasy.com if you want to check that out. Okay, let's talk about some of the possible cons of oat milk. As is the case with all commercial non-dairy milks, there's likely to be a lot more in your oat milk than just oats. Manufacturers add varying amounts of sugar and salt to enhance the flavor. Some of them add thickeners and emulsifiers and other flavoring agents. Some of the sweetened varieties I looked at have almost as much sugar per serving as soda or juice, so be sure to seek out the unsweetened varieties. Also, be aware that not all brands of oat milk are gluten-free. Although oats themselves contain no gluten, cross-contamination can be an issue. So if you have celiac disease or you're otherwise gluten intolerant, just be sure to check that your choice is one of the ones that's certified gluten-free. Now, one way to control exactly what is and isn't in your oat milk, not to mention save a whole bunch of money, is to make your own. And I'm going to tell you exactly how. But first, today's episode is supported by Honest Tea. Honest Tea is a brand that doesn't only make delicious organic teas and beverages, they also make a difference around the world. For every fair trade certified product that Honest sells, they give back a premium to a community development fund located near the ingredient's origin. And then the farmers decide together how to spend their funds to improve their lives. These funds go toward vital resources like clean water, schools, healthcare, and transportation. And that's why the small choice of what to drink when you're thirsty can mean a lot to a lot of people. And I love it when something as simple as what tea we choose to drink can have such a positive impact in the world. I'm glad to support a company that gives back to the communities that need help the most. Visit honesttea.com/podcast to learn more about Honest and how your small decision has a big impact. And today's episode was also supported by Undeniably Dairy. 1 in 6 kids in the U.S. faces hunger, and that number goes up during the summer months when children lose access to school meal programs. Undeniably Dairy and America's dairy farmers have been passionate about providing food to families for a long time, and this summer, they're building on dairy's commitment to nourishing communities by partnering with Feeding America to fight child hunger. Dairy is an accessible, affordable source of many essential nutrients in a time when eating healthy only seems to get more complicated. And plus, 95% of dairy farms are family-owned, and most milk is made less than a 2-hour drive from where it's sold. So when you buy cheese, yogurt, or milk, you're supporting dairy farm families near you. Help get food to families who need it. Go to giveagallon.com to donate to a food bank in your community. And now, let me share with you just how easy it is to make your own oat milk. I've actually been making my own cashew milk for years. Like oat milk, cashew milk is thicker and creamier than rice or almond milk, and it's super easy to make at home. But oats are a lot cheaper than raw cashews. Although there's still no substitute for cashews when it comes to making non-dairy whipped cream, homemade oat milk may become my new standard. And by the way, my recipe for cashew milk and whipped cashew cream is also on my blog at nutritionovereasy.com. Okay, so if you'd like to try making your own oat milk, start with 1 cup of old-fashioned rolled oats and choose a brand that's gluten-free if that's important to you. Then you want to soak the oats for 15 to 30 minutes and then drain and rinse them. Now, we're going to start by blending those soaked oats with 2 cups of water for 60 seconds at the highest speed your blender has. Now, the result will be closer to whole milk or even half and half, but at this point, you can add more water until you have the thickness that you desire. If you use a total of 4 cups of water to 1 cup of oats, you're going to get something similar to reduced fat milk. So you get to choose. Now, you can add just a tiny pinch of salt, a few drops of vanilla extract, or a drizzle of agave nectar or maple syrup to enhance the flavor. And you may also want to run it through a fine mesh strainer if your blender isn't super high powered. And there are just a couple of caveats here. Homemade oat milk is free of thickeners and emulsifiers that often get added to commercial brands, but that also means that it's more likely to separate as it sits. So if you add it to your coffee, just keep a spoon handy so you can swirl it between sips. And I also don't recommend cooking with homemade oat milk, but it makes a great dairy-free alternative to pour over your cereal or to lighten up your coffee. Now, if you try this at home, I want to hear from you. You can send an email through our website at quickanddirtytips.com or look me up on Facebook and Twitter. I'd love to hear what you think of this recipe. And speaking of recipes, Hungry Girl is here to share another easy recipe that you are going to love. Take it away, Lisa.
Hey, Nutrition Diva listeners, I have a great little hack for you. Okay, did you know you can make all natural dough, healthy dough, with only 3 ingredients? It's true, I would not lie to you. All you need to do is mix together some whole wheat flour, baking powder, and Greek yogurt. And you could use this magic dough to create all kinds of delicious and, believe it or not, healthy recipes. You can make low-calorie bagel bites, little pizzas, pizza pockets, and so much more. I just have so much fun with this dough. I can't even express to you how much I love it, and I think you will love it too. So for all the details and a lot of great recipes, you should check out the Simply Dough section in my brand new cookbook, Hungry Girl Simply 6.
Thanks for that amazing recipe, Lisa. I can't wait to try that 3-ingredient dough, and I'll definitely check out some of those recipes in your new book, Simply 6. And for more of Lisa's Hungry Girl magic, check out the Chew the Right Thing podcast. Now, next week, I'm going to be talking about some new research on the impact of sleep on appetite and weight, as well as the most effective techniques for combating insomnia. If you're not already a podcast subscriber, be sure to add the Nutrition Diva podcast to your favorites list so that you don't miss a single episode. You'll find a transcript for today's show along with the complete Nutrition Diva archives, as well as all the other great Quick and Dirty Tips podcasts at quickanddirtytips.com. Our show is edited by Karen Hertzberg and produced by Nathan Sams. Our amazing team at Macmillan Publishing also includes Morgan Ratner, Michelle Margulis, Emily Miller, Michaela Prell, and Kathy Doyle. Thanks so much for listening, and I will see you next week.